have an exact like way he looks like, because I was raised to believe that God doesn't have an image, and that you shouldn't, believe in an image of God, but more so like the Spirit of God and how He lives inside you. So what I think of when someone says God, I think of someone that is accepting. I see a light. I see no hands or nothing human form, because He's not human. He's something greater than that. So I always see like a light or something like beautiful. It reminds me of God, and anything beautiful in this world reminds me of God, because I believe that He has made everything. So when someone smiles, I just think of God. I mean, it doesn't mean that that's how He looks like. It's just I believe that. And there's something else. Oh, how I communicate with Him. Like I said, I pray, and I feel that that's a big way to communicate with Him. And just thinking about Him also is a way of communicating with Him, because it's not just pray and then that's it. And how does He communicate with me? Well, I feel that whenever something goes right in my life, it usually means that I can't really explain. Let's see. So, whenever a miracle happens in my life, it doesn't have to be like a big giant miracle, like Skittles fell from the sky. No, I mean like just small things. I feel that God is talking to me through that, and that's one way He communicates with me. Yeah.
Supposedly in Buddhism, Buddha is with you everywhere, and you can pray to Him whenever you need. So people used to carry like necklaces or like symbolic of statues, and they pray to Him whenever they want to. I don't know the real way, but I think what I've experienced is like if you see results from like your prayer or something, I guess in a way He answers you.
Since I don't really believe in a God, I don't really communicate with Him much at all. I don't really get into Him much at all.
Well, I believe in, God the Father and Jesus and the Holy Spirit, and it's kind of complicated and confusing because it's like 3 different parts, but it's all one God. And I believe that God's someone you can talk to. It's not like this big person who you can't approach. He's very approachable. And as for how to contact God, that's through prayer and stuff. And I don't know how to really phrase how God talks to us, because it's just kind of something that you feel, or if you see things happening in your life sometimes.
I don't believe in a God because I don't, and even if there is a God, I don't think He would be shaped like a human. Maybe there would be, because maybe it would be because that's the way we perceive them, but I don't have any perception.
I do believe in a God. There is only one true God, in my opinion. I would think of Him as a nurturer, a shepherd per se. He always cares for His flock. And I would say when I need to talk to Him, I would through prayer. Every now and again. Just going through my day-to-day life, he sometimes there are times when He communicates me in a certain way and I don't even notice it. He communicates in mysterious ways to different people.
Hi, Sky. She already got interviewed.
Yeah, sorry.
Way to interrupt the interview to go to the bathroom. Okay.
Alright, so in Islam, for the most part, again, this is from what I've been taught and what my understanding of it, so I don't want to give any wrong information as facts. but he is all-knowing, and meaning that he knows everything going on. He knows everything that you think, do, talk, whatever, like everything. He is everywhere. No matter what you do, he will be there, and there's never an absence of God. What else is there? How do you communicate? So I communicate with him technically through prayer, and at the end of each prayer, I mean, there's specific things that you're supposed to say in Arabic in prayer, and there's a certain like schedule in a way, but then at the end you do this thing called, at least in Urdu, it's called dua, and you kind of say things, you know, you say thank you, and like you ask for things, you ask for forgiveness especially, and saving you from the devil and like hell and things like that, just helping you be a better person. You shouldn't ask like, oh my God, God, please make me rich, you know, you can't do that. So it's just, that's how I communicate with him, and technically I don't see it as somebody just coming to me and being like, you know, this is what God, I'm God's messenger, this is what he's told me to tell you. No, it's more like he sends signs in a way, like if something's not meant for me, then it's not meant for me, and things like that. I mean, it's not very set in stone, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I love being Jewish, and one of the reasons why I love being Jewish is because of my religious community. We're so open to everything and everyone, and it's so much fun. You can basically be yourself and nobody really cares because everyone loves each other, and nobody ever says, oh, you're stupid, or oh, that's stupid, or ugh, what are you doing? Because everyone just loves each other.
I am my religious community because what I learned is that church is not a building, it's a person, it's people gathered together. But I think you don't even need to have a gathering, like you yourself can be enough. And so I am my own little temple, and I am my own community.
I don't really have a religious community nowadays. I used to go to a youth group when I was younger, but they weren't very tolerant of things. They were very strict, and they didn't have very open minds.
Okay, so to describe my religious community, I'm going to start with sort of a high school kind of group. Basically at my church, we have a high school sort of program that's run by this awesome dude named Jim Burns. And we basically go there, we get to hang out together. It's fantastic. I love being there. But the reason I love being there is because people love to be there and interact with other people. I mean, it's not just like we go and we learn about God and then we go home. It's interactive, and it's more of a time of fellowship with other people. But I brought several non-Christians there, and the first thing they notice is that people look at them and they actually interact with them. They look at them in the eye and ask them questions about themselves and to actually get to know each other. The other thing that the church is based on is discipleship, where like one person who learns something would tell that to somebody else. It's not just kind of confined into one church or one person. So I can go ask questions, whatever I want, about other faiths, and question about kind of things that people consider contradictory. And usually they're very satisfactory answers. Another thing is sort of like that I can interact with children. I can help out in the youth ministry where I can go assist in like just hanging out with middle schoolers, being their friend, which is really what it's all about. It's just what fellowship is. I'm able to teach other children, small kids, just teaching them how to act properly and just showing them, being an example to them. And I have people who are examples to me too.
Well, in the beginning, it was boring to me, but I was in a well, it was new to me before. That was a long time ago. Like, ever since I received my second sacrament, communion, I started getting more in depth with God, and I started going to church more, and it wasn't boring at all. It actually seems shorter now. But for my dad, like my parents, they don't like to go often, so it's difficult sometimes to go.
I'm part of a really big congregation. My synagogue is definitely one of the biggest in Virginia, so it's a really accepting place. I wouldn't say it's homogenous at all. It's, anybody's welcome as long as they are up for participating in the faith. And I'd say we're welcoming of all types, because Reform Judaism is all about exploring you and finding out who you are and how that relates to Judaism. So.
Well, I have a really big family, and them being mixed race, they do a lot of different religions. So, on Muslim holidays, I go to my uncle's mansion, and we just eat a lot. And we party, well, not really Muslims, So, it's just, that's the way that it's always been for me. I did believe in God. I still do believe in God. And recently, when I started going to church, I realized that there's a lot more that I can associate myself with than what I originally thought. I didn't think that I would fit in, but I am.
Anyone is invited to my church. Most of them is African American, but anyone can be invited. You don't have to sign up for anything. You can just go.
My religious community is totally awesome. I'm surrounded by all people that are my age, like in my youth group, and they're all very accepting with whatever you believe in, and I think that's the best environment to be in when you're faced with something like religion.
So, in a nutshell, my religious community is at school, not really there at all. At home, it's huge. Hugely religious.
Everybody in my church is really close. Like, most of us are like family. We get to know each other, even though most of us only see each other once a week. It's like really tight there. So.
I was born Lutheran, but my parents didn't really like the way the church was running, and I didn't really like going to church, so we kind of withdrew from that community. And then my father founded another church, and it's a spiritualist church, and it's all about getting in tune with one's self, one's soul, and I found it to be really interesting, but I don't really go that often. But it's really accepting. They don't care what religion you were or what religion you are. You can just come, relax, come, they will speak to you, and it's pretty cool.
It's actually pretty formal, my church, although it is also a warm and welcoming community.
My religious community is, like I said, my Unitarian church, and basically it's just a bunch of like people who come together on Sundays, and we it's very diverse in the sense of like racially, and we are an intentionally inclusive congregation, meaning that we like make a point to accept like all races and all sexual orientations. So we have a lot of people who identify as gay or lesbian or transgender, and we it's a very nurturing, loving place. We're super accepting, super tolerant, and it's a situation where, because we don't have a creed or a dogma, people who come to our church, we have some people who believe in God, some people who don't believe in God. It's a very like kind of independent search for what you believe in, and everyone at our church has like different spiritual, beliefs. So it's a very diverse community, and no two people believe the same thing. So, yep.